And it's just amazing to me how comfortable certain white people can get talking to a person of color when the person of color is outnumbered.
Hi, how you doing? Excuse me. Can you tell me where I can get some toothpaste from? If you look up on aisle 6, it says it. It says toothpaste. You just have to fucking read toothpaste. Use your vowels. But let a gang of black people ask that same shit. Excuse me. Can you tell us where we can get some toothpaste from? Sure, I'll show you. Come on. What are you looking for? Colgate, Aim? What do you want there? Tartar Control?
Hey, what's going on, folks? Yes, another episode of Just My Opinion with Ryan, with none other than Ryan. And let me just say this, I am truly appreciative of all the, whether it's a like, subscribes, the views people give my video. I'm very grateful of it. One of my highest viewed videos is over 800 views, and I know that's a little to a lot of YouTubers, and hell, maybe it just seems like a little bit to anyone watching this video. But in my opinion, that means a lot to me, especially being I just started in January, and it's just little old me just doing this by myself. So I'm grateful for any type of view I get, subscriber I get as well. Nevertheless, let's get into it. I want to talk about the movie Master today, and for one, it wasn't a horror movie in my opinion, but even before I get into that, I just want to make this statement real quick. If anyone successfully, once again, keyword is successfully, if you successfully start a trend, you clearly make the biggest impact, and then anybody else who tries to follow that trend, unless it's done masterfully well, or maybe it has like another creative spin to it, that impact isn't as strong. And you may be wondering, what am I talking about? Or you may get it already where I'm going. When Jordan Peele came out with the movie Get Out, that's a good number of years ago now, that was a very creative way to discuss how racism was the whole premise and the whole horror. That was well done. Get Out, that had the whole racist undertone to it, was massively done in my opinion. Granted, you may not be a big fan of his other stuff when it comes to the movie Us. Maybe you're not a big fan of this movie Nope that's coming out later on this year. Hell, you might not even be a fan of that movie that I believe he didn't direct, but he produced, the new version of Candyman that got mixed reviews. But it's undeniable of that new trend he set when Get Out came out. I feel like he made a huge impact, especially when it comes to like directors of color. So with that said, these other movies and shows that kind of try to follow that format in some form or fashion, one, it isn't as big of an impact as the way Get Out was. And two, something about it is just missing a mark. In my opinion, you cannot, come out with a horror movie and put race in it and say, here you go. That series on Amazon Prime that was, I think, produced by Lena Waithe, that wasn't it. And Master, this one that came out, that wasn't it as well. And I believe it was BET or someone came out with a horror movie called Karen, if I'm not mistaken. That definitely wasn't it. I think Get Out was like a huge impact as far as just creating a new lane for horror movies and stuff like that. And we just got a lot of people trying to follow that trend, and one way or another, they're missing the mark. And unfortunately, I feel like Master falls in that same ballpark. Something about it just missed the mark. First of all, I wouldn't even consider it a horror movie to begin with. Before I get into it, man, or before I just break down, this is going to be a spoiler review. I don't see any other way to cut it. So if you're interested in watching Master, please don't watch the rest of this video. I'll put it that way. But for starters, I gotta admit, man, the first thing that disappointed me was when I watched this movie. It shouldn't be in the horror category. There's nothing scary about Master at all. You know, I guess unless you want to try to say that the reoccurring theme is like racism is supposed to be the scary part, which, yeah, racism is scary and dangerous for a lot of people, and there's been a lot of victims, unfortunate victims of racism. But in terms of this movie, this is not considered a horror movie. This maybe more so a mystery in a sense, or even a drama, if anything. But a horror movie, it is not. For what it's about, this is about a freshman student by the name of Jasmine, who comes into this school. I want to say it's called Alcaster. You know how I do, I put it in the edits. And Regina Hall is also the main character. So, well, I guess she's probably, I guess the freshman is a co-star, and Regina Hall is the main character. Let's just put it that way. And Regina Hall plays, she is the first Black person ever to become master of this very old college. This college is supposed to be just as old as America is. This college is predominantly white in both faculty and its student body. And so this is supposed to be a big deal. But as the movie goes along, at least from my perspective, it feels like Gail, which once again is played by Regina Hall, it feels like Gail was more of a hire just to try to make this school look good. You know, like, because it has such a high number of Caucasian and white people in the school. And as I mentioned, there is also, what the movie revolves around, is a freshman by the name of Jasmine. Jasmine is apparently assigned this particular room that is supposedly haunted. It's haunted by this witch. I want to say her name was Margaret Mitchell. I might be wrong on that. But nevertheless, it's haunted by this witch. And the story goes that on December 3rd at 3:33 a.m., the witch drags that whatever student is in that room, drags that student to hell. And apparently, the school always puts a Black person in this particular room because they feel like this tale is supposed to be true. So that's what the main premise is about. So you see where the racism angle is going and so forth. This would be more of a horror story if the witch was in the story. This would be more of a horror movie if the witch was in this more. For example, Jasmine admits to her friends that she makes, as well as her roommate. She admits that she suffers from sleepwalking, and so throughout the movie, Jasmine, has visions in her sleep, but it's about the witch and possibly dying and stuff like that. But none of these visions necessarily come true. None of this comes to fruition. It's just these sleepwalking visions that she has, and that's really all it is. So that's just like a whole tease throughout the movie. At some point you're not sure if you're watching a witch in reality, torture or haunt Jasmine, or if she's just having some type of scary nightmare or sleepwalking vision. And she's always, and 100% of the time, it was always some type of nightmare or some result of sleepwalking. So that part really, it was kind of disappointing. They really could have done more with this whole, scary tale or, hearsay, scary, story that was supposed to be going around this campus. So that part really dropped the ball. What you thought was supposed to be, the witch haunting Jasmine was just all sleepwalking stuff and nightmares. So there's that. If anything, the entire movie really just focuses on a lot of microaggressions that I'm sure most of us, people of color, can relate to in one form or another. There's plenty of examples of microaggression, whether it's the black friend being stopped at the door, even though she's with a group of her white friends when trying to get into a party. She legitimately checks out some books out of a library, but the metal detector thing goes off when she leaves the library. So now the librarians look at her funny as if she stole something, ask her to come back in, and she wants to play security guard and check her whole book bag. So just all these type of microaggressions that really, at least I'll speak for myself, I find annoying or frustrating because I've been through that. As I mentioned, I'm sure most people of color have had some, a story or two that and can relate to that. Another thing that was very, upsetting if you're rooting for the freshman Jasmine is like her white friends that she just was still hanging around for whatever reason. They were talking to her kind of reckless, man, and it's just amazing to me how comfortable certain white people can get talking to a person of color when the person of color is outnumbered.
Hi, how you doing? Excuse me. Can you tell me where I can get some toothpaste from? If you look up on aisle 6, it says it. It says toothpaste. You just have to fucking read toothpaste. Use your vowels. A lot of gang of black people ask that same shit. Excuse me. Can you tell us? Where we can get some toothpaste from? Sure, I'll show you. Come on. What are you looking for? Colgate, Aim? What do you want there? Tartar Control?
But it's just, yeah. So it's really just a movie full of microaggressions. And even with Gail. Now with Gail, I will say, once again, that's played by Regina Hall. With Gail, I will say at least, it seems as if there's like hints of the witch haunting her home as well. But again, it's like there's no real signs of a witch that actually appears in the movie. I mean, maybe the most you'll see is like a silhouette of some sort, but they really don't dive into who the hell is causing all these mystery things going on. And when I say mystery things going on, at least when the ghost was teasing Gail, it was more like she'll just find like a pile of maggots in her drawer, or a moth will fly out of this painting that was painted of Gail, or just small stuff like that. There was those really, that's it. And I don't know about you guys, but when I look into a horror movie, you're gonna see like a couple of dead bodies, here and there. Somebody's got to die in a horror movie. That's kind of what makes it a horror movie. Whether it's a slasher film, supernatural, somebody got to catch a body. Somebody is going down. And unfortunately, the only person who did die in this movie was Jasmine. And it was by way of suicide. And once again, I don't know if it was purposely done to try to make it look like a mystery, or I don't know if it was trying to make it look like, did Jasmine commit suicide or did the witch kill her, which once again we don't see if she was murdered and it just looked like a suicide. We don't see any of that. I'm leaning more towards that it was a suicide, because at one point Jasmine and Gail do talk, and Gail lets the freshman know, hey, it's everywhere. It's all around you, no matter where you go. And what she meant by that, of course, is racism. You're gonna find racism wherever you go, because before they had that heart-to-heart talk about racism being everywhere, Jasmine does fall out the window December 3rd at 3:33 a.m. But once again, you don't know if it seems the way it appears as if she fell out the window because of her sleepwalking habits, not necessarily because of which made her do it. So yeah, once again, it's far from a horror movie. If anything, maybe some type of interesting think piece of a movie or a drama of that nature. But as I mentioned, it's really just a hour and a half full of microaggressions that can, if you're a person of color, more than likely you're going to relate to some of these microaggressions that they do show. And just another side note, another part that got on my nerves, once again, a microaggression. Well, two things actually. One, if whenever I've been in a place that was majority white, it was almost like just natural instinct. I'm just going to gravitate toward other people of color. Like if I just so happen to see another person of color, it's like, hey, what's up? I'm not saying we're gonna be best friends, but in this majority white, environment we're in, I'm at least gonna hang out with you just to see if we vibe or not. And who knows? I'm not saying, and we may not vibe. We may not be in a situation where like, all right, yes, it's a majority white environment, but for whatever reason, me and this other black person, we're just not seeing eye to eye, and that's cool. But I am going to at least gravitate to you as another black person in a majority white environment and just see what's up with you. That part kind of didn't have any type of realistic realism into it. There's at no part of the movie does Jasmine gravitate towards anybody, even with Gail. Even though she does talk to Regina Hall's character here and there, it's not like Gail took this black freshman under her wing and tried to give her any type of like advice or whatever the case is. So just a quick side note, there's another part in the movie also where the lunch lady is black in the college cafeteria, and all the white people, she's like, oh hey, well, that's a nice outfit you got on, oh my goodness, how was school going, this and the third. But when Jasmine, the token black freshman, shows up, the lunch lady gives her no vibes at all, no loves at all, no hey, how you doing. She's just she's very standoffish. She damn it gave Jasmine the cold shoulder and just like, here's your tray, get the fuck on. And so I never understand, I will never understand stuff like that, because even that part I've been witness to that, I've been victim to that, where once again, we don't have to be best friends, but as if we're like the few black people there, at least we could say hi to each other, it'll be cool. But I've been in situations where like someone has been cold to me and it's like, damn, all right, I see how you're rocking it. But overall, I wouldn't suggest this movie. Matter of fact, if any movie makes you think of Rachel Dolezal, probably not a good look. There is another character who is portrayed as someone of color, but the whole plot twist is she was white all along. She just had like a very mild tan to make her look very light skinned. And this person, her name was Liv. Liv in the movie was supposed to be one of Gail's homegirls, one of her friends. But come to find out, Liv was white all along. And she actually was playing a whole, black card, or portraying herself as black, just so she could get tenure at this predominantly white school. So she was a teacher who played the black card, and once she got tenured, it really didn't matter anymore to her that Gail blew up her spot by letting the faculty know that Liv is really white, and she played on black people in order to get accepted as tenure at this school. And we see that a lot every day. Just ask Miley Cyrus when it came to hip hop. Just ask Post Malone, Machine Gun Kelly. The list can go on and on. So it's just wild how people they cool with black culture until something else comes along, or until they get into a better position to do something else. But nevertheless, man, that's my opinion. Love it or hate it. And as I mentioned before, definitely not a horror movie. I really have a lot of respect for Regina Hall. Her resume of the movies she's been in speak for itself. She's amazing, and she was amazing actor, period. Not in just comedy, but anything that Regina Hall wants to do, she's amazing at it. Just see Nine Perfect Strangers, which is not a comedy, but Regina Hall did a thing. But as far as Master goes, this wasn't it. Once again, that's just my opinion. Love or hate it. Peace.